Hi everyone, welcome to Ethernal Realms and welcome to your reading. We will see what is going on in your career, studies, and finances in the coming year or 1 year from now. We have pile 1 over here, pile 2, pile 3, and pile 4. Make sure to choose your reading with your intuition. If you're not sure how, you can visit the video in the ribbon above. Once you've made your choice, you can pick the timestamps for your reading in the comments and the description. So whenever you're ready, we will get started. Hi Pal 1, welcome to your reading. We will see what your career, studies and finances look like in the coming year and where will you be 1 year from now in that scenario. So let's see what tarot cards you have, then we'll get into your tea leaf and oracle cards. So we have the Six of Cups first, which is represented by the Sun in Scorpio and talking about pleasure. It is also about reflecting to the past and seeing what you have learned, what you've gathered. So it could be a type of examination that you are giving, or you could be kind of returning to a place that you have been before, where you have worked before, and you're kind of feeling a sense of nostalgia. It can also be that you're making a big change, big shift in your career in terms of your role or the place that you work in or the people that you work with. And because you're leaving, you're kind of, again, having that nostalgic feeling that you're going to miss the place where you learned so much. But definitely there is a sort of departure from where you have been into something much more suited for your next capacities. Then we have the Six of Swords, another 6, okay? We have Mercury in Aquarius and earned success. So this can talk about movement. Again, moving towards something that is more suited for you. So it can talk about a promotion, or you're graduating, or at least, you're giving an examination and you're moving on to the next phase. So you are going to pause and you're like fine with moving on to the next stage because you feel ready for it. But of course, wherever you're leaving, you're still thinking about that. It's sort of like, I will keep it in my thoughts, in my memories. That's what I'm getting there. Mercury in Aquarius is also very intelligent and very witty. So there could be some strategic thinking you're doing or planning ahead for what you really want. You're making sure to involve your logic. And yes, your decision making is very strong at this time. So you know when the time has come to leave behind the old and proceed with the new. Okay. Then we have Two of Pentacles with change and Jupiter in Capricorn. That's a really good planetary combination because it says slow and steady will win the race, and it is going to build a hell of a legacy. Okay, so Capricorn is like all of your hard work coming to success, and you can see it in a very tangible sense. The Two of Pentacles can talk about shifting money resources. It can also talk about work-life balance, just managing two different sources of income, for example, is also symbolized here. But either way, there is a change which you're happy juggling at this time because it is leading to your expansion. You might have to do like a part-time work, and on the side you might be doing your side hustle, or you might be going to school, something like that, where you're juggling two tasks, but both of them are going to yield some financial balance and prosperity for you. Even when we talk about work-life balance, if you're able to rest, then you're able to work better. So in a sense, it is bringing you a healthier state of income and a healthier bank account as well, right? So it can talk about that, where you might have the flexibility to go part-time, where you can shift to another location, perhaps change up teams, perhaps mix teams up, so you're encountering different people, different projects, and you're learning two different things at a time. There is a type of juggling, but it can of course talk about the physical movement from one location to another, and both of them yielding strong returns in terms of your finances. Okay, and 2 6s talks about harmony and balance as well. So harmony with what you're acquiring, you're feeling good about it, and also there is harmony and peace in what you're spending. So there is nothing extra that is going on here. You're careful about where you're focusing your attention. You're also prioritizing the people that you want to interact with. So you're preserving your energy much better, which kind of frees up more room to create multiple sources of income or to direct your focus and strategy towards a place that you are more called to following. So if you are outgrowing your current place, it is very likely that you are moving away from these particular boundaries. You're stretching yourself. Six of Swords can also talk about like you don't really know how exactly everything is going to pan out. So it might not be kind of first semester and then the second semester and so on, where you know what the next thing would be. Instead, Six of Swords would be something like, wanting to get into an internship, or you want to get some experience. It would be good to have some while you're still in college, but you don't really know how that might work out. So you kind of having to trust the faith a little bit. Also, in terms of a job scenario, of course, it can be like moving locations and you might not know much about that place, but you're trusting the entire process and you're moving in that direction. Does not have to be as dramatic as the examples that I gave. It's just a transition from one stage to another where the new one is quite fresh to you. You don't have an experience in there, but it's somehow very exciting. Okay, so let's move on to your oracle cards and see what else we have. Okay, so we have surface and okay, I'm curious about this, but I like it because it talks about the ground again, right? We're talking about career and finances, and it's very nice to see a very earthly card in a Cosmos Oracle deck. Okay, so yes, it's once again talking about that earth sign where you put in the effort and you get the results. Things are going to surface now. All the efforts that you might have put in previously, that is coming to the surface. You can see what the results are. So it could be that in an exam you gave, now you're getting back the answers, and therefore you can make decisions accordingly about your future steps, right? But either way, you're seeing the result of something here. Then we have Dark Nebula, which again talks about that uncertainty and feeling of, okay, where do we go from here? That type of vibe. And the good thing about this is that you have full creative freedom. The difficult part about this is it can feel like we have too many choices, or that we have a lot going on and we're not really sure if everything is working in a focused manner. It's like being wrapped up with work and school, for example, that you don't really have the occasional time to check in and be like, okay, so am I comfortable with this? If not, how can I rectify situations, etc. You're kind of on the go. It's a busy time, okay? Two of Pentacles is busy. You have a lot of tasks that you have to work through, and these are long-term projects, very likely, but it also yields long-term results, and that's what makes it worth it. But there might be some time when you're asking if you want to keep on doing this. It's sort of that vibe, like about the future, you're unclear. And that's understandable with the Six of Swords as well. Again, like I said earlier, you don't really know where you're traveling, but you know you're transitioning to something much better. Okay, then we have the Telescope. Yeah, this talks about looking at the long term, seeing far into the future, making long-term plans, prioritizing for the long term, everything related to long-term commitments and vision, basically. So you can be moving more towards your real aspirations and kind of putting in the work a lot towards something you really enjoy doing. Six of Cups can also talk about returning to some childhood hobbies you might have had, other interests that you were once intrigued about and you never got the chance to follow through with it, and now you're kind of taking a bit of a chance to incorporate that more into your life. I don't see you ditching one option for the other. So you're taking it up and you're seeing how you work with it or what can happen out of it. You're just exploring out of pleasure, but you also have a backdrop of this could be something, or we could make something out of this, something of that sort. Okay, whether it is your own or something within an existing company that you're curious about, it's something of the past, perhaps a connection of the past as well for some of you, who brings about this recognition of, hey, didn't you want to work in that project once? I remember you were talking about it, something of that sort. But yeah, something, you're thinking about the future, and you're making investments in that direction as well, or you're thinking about that, so you're looking into the contacts you've had, and this might be like uncharted territory at this time, so you're getting your feelers out and talking to people that you know are more experienced about this in order to make more solid or secure financial decisions. Okay, then we have feed your artist, which can be talking about expressing yourself again. Something like what I was talking about with the Six of Cups, some hobbies you might have had earlier, you're putting that into new use because the person you are now is not the person that was back then. So whoever you are now is wanting to express itself. Okay, so the same hobby would look very different at this time. That's a kind of message I'm getting, and you're going to enjoy whatever comes out of this. Okay, if it is dancing, then you might dance different from before, but somehow you find this version better, right? So it can be any of that sort. But it is also talking about creative problem solving, intelligent strategy, in order to be able to express yourself better, not only in an artistic sense, but more in an expressive and creative sense. Okay. Then we have welcome the divine masculine. Yeah, this is that busy time that I'm getting. So, if you're wanting busy, then this looks really good. It looks like you're making things work. You're getting people, you have things you're earning as well. It's quite clearly showing up on the surface that you're doing good. Okay, so welcome the divine masculine is about using your willpower to manifest your dreams, taking action, being proactive about the things of priority, not backing down, not hesitating, not waiting for something else to work out, but taking charge and being in the reins to create something of your own. You have a lot of confidence and charisma. You have so much drive and passion as well. There is something here that just ignites a newfound energy here, newfound passion here. And I'm looking at the dark nebula. That can be what this is talking about as well. It might be feeling like an overwhelming surge, like, I can't believe that I did not continue this, or I can't believe how good it feels right now. Like if I take the, example of the hobbies. But even if you're exploring a new subject, you might not expect to like it so much. But once you explore, it makes sense. It's like, yeah, you would totally go for that. Okay. Then we have you, the muse, which is an Empress card, so talks about creativity once more. I'm not going to repeat myself, it is all of the same things that I said, but it just really puts you on a very high regard, talking about how you have developed and grown so much, you are shining, and your personal charisma is really radiating here. So in some way you are reaching a place of prominence. It can be a literal authority figure, also with the welcome the divine masculine. You can be leveling up in your career in some way, or you can be going someplace where it just fits, the surrounding just fits, that you're able to be you unapologetically and vibrantly. Okay. Tea leaf. Okay, we have the bridge, successfully overcoming a problem. Yeah, so if you have any exams, any courses, any like last minute conversations you might have, notices, I was going to say first. Notices and messages that you might get, it looks very positive, like you're earning your place. Okay, we have wealth, so that's great for a money and career reading. You're increasing your income, you're managing your income much better, and also your outflow, you're, like I said, being very peaceful with your money situation. And this is a wealth of knowledge and abundance of ideas, abundance of options and opportunities as well, not only restricted to the strictly the money part of it. It's a wealth of everything, which of course then results in a magnifying of your finances as well. Then we have Claw, be careful, do not take risks. Yeah, that's what, like you're on a path and you're being guided at this time. And I like that this card came up because the Divine Masculine can get a little bit too risky. And yes, you should go with the flow, but when you're trying to go with the flow, you need to kind of pay attention to the synchronicities as well, or like what feels really right to you, you know? It's about intelligent decision making, and I think Mercury with Aquarius here is definitely on point with that. But I'm also getting, don't take on more than you can actually handle. So ask yourself if this is manageable for you, because there might be some other adjustments that you can make that is not draining you too much. Okay, this is if the juggling is something extraneous related to the external environment more than your plate of work, that type of thing. It's getting something else. And Jupiter in Capricorn as well does not take risks. So I think you are just being careful of this anyway. You're making sure you're earning your place and you're doing what you enjoy. You're managing your work. You're living in balance. You're taking care of yourself. You're expressing yourself fully. You're taking action on your future goals and desires, and you're just manifesting money. I mean, it's very clear as day. I love it. Very straightforward. Really good. Okay, so Astro Dice for pile 1, please. Korean finances 1 year from now. 4th house, Pluto when Leo. That confidence and charm, right? That charisma is totally oozing out. Leo is also an artist, a creative spirit. So you have that passion, drive, and creative spark within you. You have a flood of new ideas and passion coming in. 4th house talks about home and family. So yeah, it can be a change in residence because we have Pluto, planet of change and transformation. It can also be talking about how your position is moving on to a leadership role, because Leo, the lion, is a natural leader, and there is a type of power that you're acquiring. You're finding your own power. You're kind of stepping into that more. Like I was saying, you're being you, the very real you, and you feel comfortable being that. Okay, so you're doing what feels right, and it might be a deep change. Even the 6 of Swords we have there with the movement, it can be like you're shifting after a very long time, or you have been waiting for a change and it has not happened for quite a while. Something like that, where it's about time and you're ready for it. Okay, so change in residence is possible. But the 4th house also talks about your core self. So there is deep self-development where you're growing to be a lot more confident with your skill, with yourself, how you carry yourself in a particular industry, your experience, and so on. Okay, so that's what I have for you, pile 1. Thank you so much for being here. I really hope the reading resonated and that it helps you out. Let me know your thoughts, like and subscribe as well. It really helps grow the channel. If you want a personal reading, you can reach me via Etsy. The link is in the description box and the comment below. I will see you some other time. Until then, take care. Bye. Hi Pal 2, welcome to your reading. We will see how your career, studies, and finances look like in the coming year. Also what's going on in between a little bit, but ultimately who you're becoming, what you're doing at this time. So let's see your tarot cards and then we'll get into your oracles. Okay, great card to begin with. We have the Journey or the Fool. It corresponds to the air alchemical symbol. We can see that here. So it's kind of like taking flight towards something new here. You're beginning a completely new journey. Could be that you're finishing your course and now it is time to, face the big wide world out there. Or it could be about taking on a new project, or you're taking on a new role, which is very brand new for you. It can be a little bit scary of, whether you're capable of it or not. You might falter a little bit on whether you're ready for such a step or not. Because with the Fool here, it's very inexperienced in that direction, but it definitely has so much willpower. It is very passionate about what it wants to pursue, and the opportunity is just very expansive. You can learn so much, you can grow so much, you can experience so much, that it's invaluable for ever, sort of, in terms of your career. And we have these poppy flowers here, and they represent the Emperor energy, which is, again, you have a boost of courage and esteem that is following you. You have guidance and support along your path, and you're protected along the journey. And it's just up to your imagination and your desire to make something happen that is going to keep on pushing you along and protecting you along your entire journey. So whatever this new venture is, you're ready for it at this time, even though you might not feel like it right away, because, we're in the situation. But outside looking in, this is basically saying you're ready for whatever you're really desiring to do. Wherever you're being pulled and called towards, it's the right step for you at this time. Then we have the Three of Cups with abundance, Mercury in Cancer. So this can be talking with like-minded people, connecting with, kindred spirits. And it can also be talking with home members, like siblings, for example, creating very close bonds with people around you as well. So in terms of a career situation, it can be that you're working with people with whom you just feel like home. It sort of reminds you of family. Or it can be talking about very supportive people around you that are kind of helping you achieve your own goals, and you are helping others achieve their goals with your contribution. Okay, so there's a very harmonious flow of your capabilities, competencies, encouragement, and all of that with each other. It's a very good team effort, and it's sort of like your team becomes your friend. So if you're going for college, for example, you could be making new friends over here, and it could be a group of 3, including you, of course, that you just bond so closely, you vibe immediately. It's an instant knowing. That's what I hear. Wherever you're headed next in this new journey, you're making new friends who can be like your soul family. Then we have Alchemy with card number 14, connects with Sagittarius. So this can be for higher education, but also teaching professions, researching philosophy, traveling abroad, connecting with people who live internationally. So, connecting with different diversities that's present here. Temperance is about moderation and balance as well. So we need to look at what we have available and making sure that all of these things kind of ignite a passion, because otherwise, why do we have that? But it should not be so passionate that it always riles us up. It's that balance that we're looking for. It's in terms of your passions, but it should not be so high that it burns you out, nor should it be so low that you don't act on it. So aim high, aim towards your aspirations, and use that boost of motivation, that masculine drive, to push yourself forward towards your goals, and you will achieve it. The sunflower here is all about joy, optimism, hope, success. Okay, there is amazing positive news here. Very nice people around you. Your mood is good. You have very good faith in yourself. You would also get some motivation from people around you who are encouraging you to go for your dreams as well. So all in all, very supportive vibe. I know it's not so much about the finances yet, because I feel like you're chartering a path to ensure a very strong financial future for yourself, but it is very dependent on what you feel drawn to. What are you connecting with? What is your aim? What are you trying to create here? So where do you want to go? It's about more of the making an informed choice, traveling towards your decisions, committing to something, and putting in the work so that it flourishes. And it definitely will. With Sagittarius, you put in some focus in some direction, give it some direction, and it's going to expand infinitely. Okay, Jupiter expands everything. Sagittarius is very expansive and open as well. So you're going to be accepted in whatever environment you're going into, and you will feel like you're in the right place at the right time. And while the entire future, the canvas is just not fully filled yet, but you're not afraid of it. You're not afraid of the unknown because you're finding the right kind of support. I also feel like your sense of balance is going to be restored. So if you feel like there's a lot going on in 1 year, you're definitely settling in, whether it is in this new journey or you're very peaceful with the new journey you're taking, and that is relieving you from a hectic cycle right now. Either way, there is finding balance with the temperance there. There is a good amount of flow and a good amount of drive. Yes. Okay, so let's see your oracles. Okay, we have imbalance again with the temperance with card number 14. Once more, it is well deserved. Your successes and triumphs are well deserved. It's about time. That's what I keep hearing. It's about time. Okay, then we have limitations, inspire innovations. Okay, so with temperance and alchemy, it could be that you don't have let's say a textbook that you're supposed to have, but you do not need to, for example, right? You don't need to buy the full-fledged price one. You might get one in library, which you're allowed to borrow for the long term, or someone in your knowing has it who, is a very close friend and you prefer to study together, something of that sort, where you're using an alternative route. You're kind of doing this your way. That's what I'm getting. You are okay with some how do I say this? I'm feeling more in a financial sense, because if you are going to study abroad or you're moving someplace and it's a new journey, you're kind of putting more money in that place, but you're not worried about losing that money, right? It's taking you someplace which is making you expand your horizons, right? So I feel like even the limitations are about expansion. It's all about a necessary restriction at the moment, which is going to help, boost your entire career and financial future. So limitations inspire innovations. You're just getting creative with your space, with your time, and with your skills as well. You could be learning something which is about innovation, so some scientific research type of study if you're doing, then this is when you have all these brilliant ideas sort of, and because you're pacing yourself, you're doing things kind of in your own way. You're not forcing yourself to do something that you're not yet ready for, that it's giving you some breathing space to come up with new ideas, think in a different manner, see things from a different perspective, find joy in places and spaces in ways that you had not experienced before. So I feel you're prioritizing your well-being, but that is immediately having a very expansive effect in terms of your career. Sagittarius can also be talking about taking you to another level in a company, like a promotion, for example, and not necessarily. It depends on whether that position would be expanding your current knowledge, or it's something that you have always wanted to do, like even if it's something different. Get it? It's either like you're already passionate about this. That's what I feel. Or it is going to expand you in a very big way. Not sure if that's going to resonate with everyone, but yeah, that's a message I get. Next, we have move beyond intention to belief. Yeah, believing that you can do this, you can manage, you can go ahead and discover what you need to discover. I feel you will find so much more of yourself. You're going to be really happy in this next phase, and feel so much more fulfilled in general. Yeah. Getting more of that is, if you're trying to manifest getting into a university or expanding your work position in some way, attracting new clients or adding a new item in your shop, things like that, you're getting creative, doing things in a different way, and you're just believing things to be possible, and you're not overextending yourself in any direction. That's what's bringing you a kind of stable, long-lasting type of growth. Okay. Then we have relativity. I'm just going to put these cards down and then we'll talk about them. we have gravitational acceleration. Yeah, give it the focus and you're just gonna go. That's what I had said with the Sag. Then we also have retrograde. Yeah, so it could be something that you're already thinking about or you're passionate about. You might have your sights set on it in some way. And in the coming year, just zooming towards that. I feel this coming year for your career is just going to fly by. That's what relativity is giving me. Yeah, okay, so those are the messages there. Okay, then we have broken ring, parting of the ways in either romance or business. Yeah, so you might be leaving a place in order to pursue this. So this new journey could be a literal, like a new place entirely, a new company or a new college or something of that sort, where you're leaving behind your current surroundings in order to pursue something that is more expansive. Okay, then we have an exciting event with the gong. Yeah, this is hearing the positive news. You can go for it, and you're traveling to a new place, you're in a new location, and kind of, yeah, learn the new place, learn the new culture. There might be new languages that you're learning as well. But yeah, it all proves out to be very fruitful. In the end, you have something to celebrate, whether it is about education or not. You're celebrating the success of something, and it is your personal celebration. Your friends coming around, you're having a nice time, all of that. You're moving towards your goals, and it's very clear that you're moving towards a goal that you're really resonating with. Okay. And then we have lion with time to act. Yeah, move beyond intention to belief also gives me that vibe, that it's time to now go for it. Okay, you believe it, now go. You believe it, now go. It's not about, oh, I wish, or I want this to happen, or I'm desiring this to happen. No, it's like, I am there. I've applied, I'm good, I'm there. I'm getting there. So you're putting in the effort, and it is showing up very loud and clear. Okay, like the lion, very loud and clear. Again, gives me a success vibe. Leo energy, so that can be a leadership position, something creative you're doing. It can be making your voice heard, self-expression in some way, using your passion and drive, willpower in some way. You have a lot of courage and stamina to push you forward towards your dreams. So you're taking your personal authority and you're acting on that, and you're making a very wonderful life for yourself. And then this just really makes me very happy with the imbalance coming up twice. It's like, now this feels right. That's what I'm hearing. This feels right. Yeah. It's not heavy hustle moment. Yeah, the retrograde is like going back. So some of you might be going back to school, going back for a course, going back through your course, and you're getting some very new information out of that. Yeah, there could be a backtracking of sort, but you know, with the Sagittarius, the bow and the arrow, it's like you have to pull back first in order to launch forward, right? So that little pulling back is what the retrograde is symbolizing for me. Okay, so let's do your astro dice. Pile 2 viewers, career and finances, studies, coming year, please, 1 year from now. Mars, okay, we have Mars again. We have the 9th house, which is where Sagittarius sits. It's about the foreign lands, diverse cultures, learning different traditions, discovering different belief systems and philosophical viewpoints, worldviews, and so on. Scorpio is talking about a very deep change. Can be a personal transformation. Can also be about shedding the old. Okay, so you're leaving behind your old circumstances and you're moving forward to explore something unknown. Yeah, and it's going to have a very pivotal impact. That's quite clear. And whenever the Fool begins its journey, it is something pivotal. Yeah, and Mars coming up. Oh, this is not Mars, but for some reason I kept hearing Mars retrograde, Mars retrograde. I kept on hearing that, really, but it's not specifically Mars being retrograde. But yeah, at this time, Mars is retrograde when I'm recording this. Perhaps the next Mars retrograde would be something pivotal, or if you're watching it right now, then maybe this is when some new development comes in. You might think about going back to school or something, or it could be that, you know, you're doing something right now which you're going to be, at the time that you're watching the video, that is, you might be going back to this video, you might get something else out of it. But I feel with the Mars Scorpio, that, well, that is a very deep passion again. So you're going back to something that you're very deeply passionate about, and you want to follow up on that. It might be something that you've wanted to explore. Yeah. And ninth house talks about visas and immigration as well. So if you want to move out, then you might be, you know, putting in the works here. I feel you're succeeding as well. So that could be an exciting event. Yeah. Okay, so that's what I'm getting for you, Pile 2. Thank you so much for being here. I really hope the reading resonated and that it helps you out. Let me know your thoughts and like and subscribe as well. It really helps grow the channel. If you want a personal reading, you can reach me via Etsy. The link is in the description box in the comment below. I will see you some other time. Until then, take care. Bye. Hi, Pile 3. Welcome to your reading. Let's get into what your career, studies, and finances look like in the coming year and 1 year from now. Okay, so let's see your tarot cards and then we'll get into your oracle. So we have the Devil card coming up first, and this relates with Capricorn. And in a career reading, I would actually kind of like it, because Capricorn is about hard work and perseverance that leads you to success no matter what. It's like a sure thing. You put in the work and you're gonna get it. It's very slow and steady work, but it is also a reward that stays with you for a very long time. Okay, it's like legacy, reputation, status for the entire family, for yourself, and so on. So it's like bigger achievements we talk about. And whenever we are trying to achieve something big, we also feel a little bit daunted by the task. There can be certain fears and insecurities that can crop up because we've been waiting for this opportunity for so long, or waiting for the results in the way that we want for so long, that it just becomes a little bit scary in a way. So that's what I think this is talking about, that you are up for a higher position and it can feel a little bit scary, but you are definitely getting ahead, and you know that this is leading to a lot more stability and prosperity for you. So yeah, it's sort of bittersweet in that sense. Then we have the Five of Wands with Saturn and Leo and representing strife. So this is a competition and a conflict card. It can be that there are many people up for this position here that you're applying for. It can be in your existing place, or it can be somewhere else. It can also be like the final examination or something, and you're worried about the panel you might get, or the people who are evaluating you. You might be unsure of that. In a financial sense, it can be, again, it's more about the work part that I'm feeling at the moment. So we'll get into the finances in just a sec. But what I was talking about earlier is there's competition, but you put in the work and you will find your glory. And as long as you stay focused and you stay humble, you will get to the space, because it is just rewards. Okay, so it is very fair what you get. You might be worried that you will not, because other people, you know, might have some more flair, or they jazz up their CV a little bit, you know, whatever. It might feel like it is a really tough struggle, when in reality it's going to be quite clear about who's authentic and who's not. Okay, so if you put yourself in that position where you're just doing your job, you're good at what you do, and you know, you're good at your studies, you're just doing good in general, and you're doing it right, you're playing it fair, and so on, then there's like nothing that gets in the way. This conflict is happening, but you're totally unbothered by it. Yeah, and we have Capricorn there, and Saturn is the ruler of Capricorn. So hard work is definitely going to be very rewarded. very rewarded. So if you've already put in the work, then this could be a time that your opportunities come in. Then we have Princess of Wands or the Page of Wands, and this talks about some news coming through that is going to make you feel free and you can express yourself much more. You are well suited for this position and it would be a very liberating effect. So it's a very happy-go-lucky type of card, and I love that for you here because we had some heavier topics going on right there, and I see that all of your cards are red. And that talks about power, authority, control, dominance, and so on. So there can be a sort of competition that goes on, ego battles, and so on. But it's kind of, I feel like it's your choice, and it also is like what headspace you're in at this moment that is going to determine your experience. Of course, there would be some fears when you're going for something huge, but are you letting that hold you back, or are you owning that and working through anyway? Because yeah, the Page of Wands talks about good news that comes in that liberates you from a certain circumstance. So whatever this achievement and this movement forward in your career is kind of bringing you more freedom, but it can at the same time be a little bit daunting because the world out there, like let's say you're graduating and you want to go for a company and there's like a lot of applicants there, so it can feel like a competition for sure, and you think that everyone has their strengths, but don't put yourself down in any way, because it is very likely that if you put in the work, you definitely will get the rewards you need. Okay, then we have Cosmic Ether, and ether is the element, the fifth element, which is the combination of all of the four elements. So from ether we get this, but ether itself is a spirit element that we cannot, it's very intangible. So from there, sort of creation happens. So it might feel like you don't have much, or you might feel like things can come out of nowhere and you won't be prepared for it. But what I'm getting here is that's not a problem. Okay, that's not the reason to hold yourself back, because that same situation has a lot of creative force in it. Okay. Then we have Stratopause, which talks about a transition stage. So it can be, again, a movement from one level to the other, and you're somewhere in between 1 year from now. You might be working up the ladder in whatever you're doing. You're succeeding one task upon the next, and this time of the year, next year, you would be somewhere in between stages. But it is, again, movement upward, like we saw earlier. Then we have Celestial Uterus, which is of course a very creative card. Also Page of Wands, very creative. So you might be getting your break sort of, or you're going for something different, and that might be a daunting task, but you feel like you have to do this in order to conceive the ideas you have. It can also be that this talks about the different opportunities that are coming up for you. It talks about fertility and abundance. So there's a lot of things. So there's plenty of success, there's plenty of money coming in, there's plenty of career growth and so on. That's coming in, and it can be truly liberating for you and very rewarding. The tasks that you are being given, the project you're looking for, that would be something that you would really enjoy, and you can do a very good job. It's like you fit this type of vibe. But yeah, creative spirit and free spirit, that's what I hear. Great. Then we have Shift the Way to New Potential. Yeah, definitely it's a big shift, because otherwise the devil does not come up often. It's like a big deal that you perhaps changing the field or the company after a very long time, or you're finishing college after a long time, and it's kind of a whole new world now. But this entire world is full of fertile resources. You can find opportunities, and you're ready for those opportunities as well. There's a pivot point, I feel, but it's like there's a convergence happening here. Even with the cosmic ether, everything is coming towards. So you might be feeling like there's too many things going on, or too many things that are coming towards you. And it can be, I'm mostly feeling like good things. These are all things that are up leveling your career and your financial situation as well. But in that moment, it can be like you have too many tasks to deal with, and not all of them are flowing with each other as effortlessly. Yeah. But everything is it's the good kind of hectic, okay? Yeah. Okay, then we have collaboration of souls. So team working, business partnership, that is very likely here. So yeah, you can, get someone who can, help you out with this, to help you manage the situation. And if you already have a business partner or something, then, or a team member that you heavily work with, then there can be some type of competition here. Perhaps both of you are contestants for up-leveling your position, and there can be a sort of ego battle going on of, who wins, sort of, okay? But the potential is there to collaborate with each other and make it a healthy competition instead of, one that drags both of you down. What's interesting is this corresponds with the Lover's card, and that is the light side of the devil energy. Devil is 15 and it adds up to 6 as well, but it's sort of on the opposite side. So you can feel bonded by a connection, or you can feel liberated by a connection, right? So it is sort of going to depend on your current situation, if you're working with a team member or not, or if you're intending to hire someone to work with. But lovers can also talk about making a choice. So if you're making a big shift, then you are really contemplating on the consequences of making a certain decision. That might be the fears and insecurities coming up, but you also know that if you go down the scarier route, it's also just as much rewarding, but you're not sure if you can keep up with the workload. And it can also be that the moment you start, you feel really good that you started it, but at the same time, you're worried about, how you're going to manage all of the tasks, right? So you can get someone in there. It can be some friend as well that you can, ask to help you out or something. But either way, you're making a meaningful choice, and you're working with people. Can also be with clients, by the way. Yeah. Then we have Fierce Serenity, card number 8, corresponding to the Strength card. I love the contradiction, it's fierce, but it's also calm and serene, right? Just because you're fierce does not mean you have to roar everywhere and that you have to yell everywhere, right? It's sometimes wiser and stronger to just keep silent, because there's just no need to, say anything. So it can be that in an ego battle, again, lions represent the ego, corresponding to Leo there. There can be ego battles, but at the same time, you can have a really good, healthy competition with whatever you're applying for or wherever you're stepping to next. There is a very good chance you can build a strong community over there. It depends, if others play along with the, healthy competition idea or not. But either way, you're keeping your cool, and I really love that. I did say earlier, Saturn and Leo, keep your head down, do your job, and take it easy. You don't need to flare yourself up too much, because you will get the rewards anyway. Okay, this is yours. If you feel like right about a certain step you're making, it's right for you. Whether it's that specific company, that specific position in that specific company on that specific day, or it is something else that comes along, which is very astoundingly similar to where you're applying for. Okay, it can be that this promotion or this step up it looks guaranteed to me in one way or the other, because you are ready for it. You're moving. You're already in the transition stage. Okay. And the collaboration of souls can be that the right sources bring it for you, and there is a huge pivot and a shift towards something that is so liberating for you. It can also be that the right opportunity meets you at the right time. You don't need to try for it. You don't need to be worried about it. It fits, it's right, it comes through. Okay, so keeping calm, observing very keenly, and utilizing your strengths and experience to, do the best that you can is very likely to lead you to great success here. Okay. Yes. Okay, let's get your tea leaf cards. We have bird perched, waiting for news, package or a letter. Yeah, so you could have already made the application for something, and you're waiting for the response, and in that moment you're worrying a bit, or feeling like, oh, there were too many people that applied, I don't know if I'm gonna get that, so I'm keeping on waiting for the results, I have no idea. Okay, then we have it, haystack karma, you will reap what you have sown. Yeah, exactly. With the Saturn and Capricorn, that's a no-brainer. Saturn is the planet that connects to karma. So if you're doing the legwork, there is no reason why you should not level up in life. Again, it might not be exactly that company at that time and so on, but it would be the correct fit for you. So ultimately, you're happier. You're doing your thing, and you're succeeding. There's nothing wrong with that. But again, if you're worrying but there is no action here because you're blocking yourself, then there can be a shift that comes from the universe itself, like a new opportunity or a transition that pushes you out of your current space. That is a liberating effect again, because it seems like there is a change coming. That's inevitable, and it is your choice. Like, are you resisting to that? Are you looking at the downside of it, or are you going along with it? Are you afraid of the competition and stopping yourself, or are you afraid of the competition but you're still going for it because you're just trusting in yourself at the moment? There is definitely big choices that you're making here, and it's normal to be a little bit worried. It's not a problem. But do you stop yourself because of it, or do you go ahead anyway? That's the question, and that's what you will be reaping and sowing, basically. Okay, then we have carriage, a journey, either physical or mental. So it could be a literal movement, relocation of sorts. Also, Page of Wands can also talk about some travel, communication that comes through. But there's also a sort of personal journey going on in your mind, right? We talked a lot about that. Maybe you're having an interview elsewhere, so you're traveling over there, and that journey is quite meaningful to you. Yeah, it can be a couple of things. It can be literal, okay? It can be literal. It could be that you're commuting for work as well, and perhaps that's the trouble here. That's the extra hard work that you're needing to do. But at the same time, the job is pretty rewarding. So, you take the difficulty with it, basically. Okay, so your astro dice. Pile 3, please. Career, studies, and finances a year from now. Gemini, 8th house, and Neptune. Okay, so your intuition. Oh, there can be some, fears and insecurities, clouding judgment, that type of vibe coming through with Neptune. It can be the shadow side that we're talking about with the devil. That would be your 8th house. Some subconscious blocks and fears. Are you afraid of success? Are you afraid of failure? Things like that. If there are some fears that come in, then that can block you. Even if everything else is going ahead for you, you might feel a little bit blocked yourself. But I found you liberating in this reading. So it's like the veil of illusion drops, there is no more delusion, and we are going to go for what is clear for us. As long as you pay attention to detail, you communicate diplomatically but also intelligently, there is, again, a very good chance of acquiring something. This Neptune can be that there are spiritual forces which just help you out. It can feel uncanny in the moment, like one door closes, another opens. That's also possible. With Gemini connecting with the lovers, it can be two options that you have. And the big choices coming through once more. So are you going to cater to the fearful part, or are you going to go for your dreams and aspirations? That is going to be, up to you. Okay, so that's what I have for you, Pile 3. Thank you so much for being here. I really hope the reading resonated and that it helps you out. Let me know your thoughts, and if you want a personal reading, you can reach me via Etsy. The link is in the description box and the comment below. I will see you some other time. Until then, take care. Bye. Hi Pile 4, welcome to your reading. Let's get into what 1 year ahead looks like in terms of your career, studies, and finances. So the first card we have is the Page of Cups, or the Princess of Cups in this deck. This can correspond to some artistic professions or creative things. It could be hobbies that you're exploring that show some promise. It could be also the beginning stages of something that you're really enjoying. So let's get some more information. We have Disappointment and Mars in Scorpio. Okay, so this can be that there are certain opportunities that are not working out for you at this time, but there is that blessing in disguise, and that's what you're experiencing a year from now. You're like, it's in a very ideal and happy type of state. You're glad about the things that have worked out, and it kind of opens up your horizons and canvas in a way. It could also be that you're leaving behind something that is taking up a lot more of your energy than it is giving back. So you're putting in a lot of effort, but you're not getting as much reward. You might be putting an end to that particular situation. Mars in Scorpio definitely is very deep and serious about its goals and passions. The Scorpio basically has two sides. One, which is the water sign, but Mars is a fire planet. So it talks about that passion and that drive that is brought up from deep within. I'm hearing the word churning. So there is a churning from deep within, and it just feels right for you. And this feels more voluntary for me, although it can be initially triggered by something not working out, and it requires you to take a deeper look at what you're really wanting from life in the first place, what your satisfaction, where you can find your satisfaction, and so on. It's a blessing in disguise, and it feels like a protection that something does not work, and you see it that way. But yeah, it can be that you're experiencing this type of feeling now, and the Page of Cups is that return of hope and abundance, the feeling of light and bliss, like things are going your way, things like that can be coming up there. Okay, then we have the Queen of Swords, which is expressing yourself, a thought leader, communication expert, something related to that. You might be, expressing a new side to yourself, especially with the, Page of Cups. It could be a new type of role that you're playing, which is more about strategy. If you're a writer, content creator, and all of that, you could be making, plans ahead. And it's kind of making I hear values, but also your passions and your hobbies, your desires, also a part of the journey. So you're not neglecting any one part of yourself while you continue forward. Queen of Swords can also talk about a leader figure in your life. It could be a feminine figure who's very straightforward and tells you the truth even if it hurts. And this can talk about a boss figure, but it can also be a mother figure who is a little bit stern towards you, has high expectations, has achieved quite a lot themselves. And but when I say mother figure, it does not have to be the mother necessarily. It could be the father as well, or it can be a relative who played a very pivotal part in your life. Can also be the matriarch energy, because we have Scorpio right there, but someone who played a nurturing or the nourishing type of role in your life, who explained things about emotions and so on, who taught you how to express, etc. That could be who's coming up here. So if you are in a new field and you feel like you still have so much more to learn, this talks about you have a strict authority figure who knows a lot, okay, but might not be very warm and fuzzy, okay? This person does not sugarcoat things. So you can feel disappointed that certain things are not approved by this person, but then because they rejected, you find something that is just perfect, not that you have to ditch an opportunity or something. Let's say they ask you to edit a document or something, and you might have put a lot of work into that, and you're disappointed that you have to edit it in some way, but when you do, it just makes so much more sense, and it helps you advance in your career. Okay, so if you're sending a CV, they might ask you to fix it instead of outright rejecting it, and if they are rejecting it, there is like someone else on the panel that is helping you out in some way. Okay, the examples are obviously going to differ for everyone depending on your situation, but there is a form of disappointment which unleashes the best part of, kind of unleashes the core of what you want to be expressing and experiencing. Okay, because the way you're proceeding from this point, you're very satisfied with it. The direction is very clear. There is no cloudiness. There is no insecurity. You're very straight with what you're wanting. Your aspirations are very clear and you're moving in that direction. Okay, none of the whole like, I don't know what will happen in 2 years or the 3 years or whatever, because you're being more in charge of that. Even if you feel a fish out of water, I keep hearing. I heard it before as well when I took a pause, but I didn't say it. But that's what I hear with the Page of Cups. You might feel like a fish out of water, but at the same time, it's very exciting and passionate. Okay, then we have the Big Bang. Yeah, okay, so this is where all of the creation begins. You have all of the resources now to make something happen. It's the bursting forth. It can talk about creative expression. It can be inspiration that rains down on you and you're just, bursting with many ideas. And again, Queen of Swords can be that blinding clarity that comes through and you're spurred into action. You want to follow through on those things, but at the same time, you have to maybe leave behind certain projects you were already working on, but it's not the bad kind of disappointment, right? So Big Bang is the beginning of the rest of your life. It feels like the beginning of the rest of your career in some way. It could be the birth of something new as well. Okay, the Queen of Swords also can be entrepreneurial, but someone more in future-oriented type of professions. But take that as it resonates. It's a little bit more specific, I realize. Okay, then we have Pulsar. Okay. Hang on. Let me see the third one. We have rotation and revolution. That's interesting. Yep, because with the revolution, we're talking about 1 year. We're talking about 1 year from now. So something, it can either be that something you're doing now is coming back around and it's showing you a new light with the pulsar right there. Or it can be like something you're doing now, the results can show up a year from now. Some plans you have now, some thoughts you have now, a year from now that is kind of bearing more fruit or showing you what that would look like. I keep hearing iterative process. It can be that you're doing what you're doing right now for a year, and at the end of it, you're like very clear about what you want and what you don't want. It can definitely talk about that, but it can also be that you are your own independent, worker, and you're doing your own thing. You're managing your own stuff, so you're getting that entire process and that cycle right. So you're repeating a process multiple times, making it better each time, right? With Pulsar here, I feel guiding light. Directions coming through. There can be some instructions, inspirations that come towards you, and it makes you more wholesome. Your work is more presentable. Your CV looks more impressive. You can take charge of things beyond this point. So anywhere that people are, critical of your work in some way, that's not a comment on you. It is nothing personal. It is really, ultimately, it is polishing your work to a point where it's acceptable by everyone and you're free to express as you like. Okay, so I feel like someone is lacking tact a little bit because pages don't really have so much finesse in how they express themselves, and the swords can be a little bit harsh seeming, even though that's not their intention. That's not how they want to say it, but they really value the truth over everything else. So I'm hearing more constructive criticism, but it can feel difficult along the path, but ultimately it's making you more independent and free-spirited. We have Celebrate Your Wins, which is obviously about commendation. You have, good recommendations from a particular person if that's what you need. Can be achieving a status, a position where I'm hearing enviable position. I'm hearing a lot of things for you guys. It's not really the straightforward definitions that I'm talking about the whole time. This talks about the Six of Wands though, so you can be achieving something where people are looking out for you. If you're speaking, then you might be going on a more public space, or you're managing more people, and you're kind of deciding your leadership style. It could be something of that sort. Building a reputation for yourself. Okay, then we have changes in card number 10, so ending of a cycle, breaking free from limitations, breaking free from what you're used to. The comfort zone is, it's again, this is a voluntary movement, so I feel like you are moving out of it because, you've outgrown the space and there's a whole new world waiting out for you. Yeah, the Big Bang as well, kind of creation just bursting forth. And the outside is full of potential. And you'll also be guided along the journey. You're protected here. It can be, again, some leader figures that are looking out for you. But it can also be your own resolution, your distinctive abilities, that you're not interacting with people who would pull you down, or you're not going for opportunities that you're not really resonating with. So you have a sense of self-preservation. You have a good sense of boundary. But also you have protective people around you in a physical or a spiritual sense. Then we have make a mission statement for your soul. Again, that passionate energy of Mars and Scorpio is coming through, also really red. So there is a sense of authority coming through. It can be about you stepping into an authority role, or it can be an important authority figure who's going to guide you along your journey. It depends on, where you are in life at this time. But yes, it's a long road. You can see, you have a clear vision, like you can see you have the sun, and the mountains represent experience. The sun is the clarity, and it's big goals. You want to achieve things, and you are going on that journey. It might feel like a long road, but you're doing things really fast. I feel you're achieving very big milestones at an alarming rate. That's what I hear. So it can be that other people are a little bit jealous of you, who are around you, working with you, but I don't see you bothered about that at all, and you're going to get the merit that is due to you. Okay, and this can also be that you're really laser focused towards a goal that you have, and whatever obstacles come along the way that we saw with the Five of Cups, it doesn't bother you because you're very focused on what you're wanting to create. That's very important, and really nice that this card came up. Okay, your tea leaf. We have a younger man, dealings or relationship with a younger man. So yeah, this can be about innumerable people, really, but it could be that you're working with someone. It does not have to be age-wise younger. It could be in a level of experience or maturity in some way. But that could be someone who can get a little bit envious. It could be a friend as well. It could be that if you are in a relationship with a so-called younger man, then it can be that you get a new opportunity, or you have a desire and you want to follow through with it, but you might not be able to continue your relationship with this person. That might be, again, a very specific message, so take it as it resonates. Then we have May, so that could be a very pivotal time. May is also the 5th month, and 5, we saw that here. So talk about big change once more. Also spring, new love blossoming, fated opportunities coming in. That's when the artistic flair could pop up, and you're getting a new download of information that just inspires you to continue the entire year, basically. Then we have hat. You will be playing a different role. Well, okay, so that's very direct. Could be, again, your literal role is changing within the institution. Outside of it, your profession can be changing if that's what you want. You could be letting go of certain collaborations, of certain network, and you're building a whole new one, and you're succeeding at that. Okay, there are changes, but you're, being recognized more. 6 of Wands can also talk about the public platform. Perhaps you start something in May. New ideas come through then. Could be a younger man that is helping you out. This Queen of Swords can also be representing a younger man, like I said, very straightforward and very truthful. There's no like mask and pretense around this person, so it can feel critical. If we're talking about an authority figure, it can feel critical, but that's not really the intentions. That's not the go-to point of this person. Okay, so a couple of different examples I gave there. Okay, so let's do your astro dice. For 1 year from now, career, studies, and finances. 12th house, Pluto and Scorpio. What is up with Scorpio? So there's a huge transformation, okay? That's like loud and clear, and there is something that needs to be sacrificed, okay? It can be the resistance to something, it can be a fear and insecurity, it can be something that just needs to be subconsciously dealt with about a situation. It can be transformation of your current living circumstances as well for some of you, but more so I would say it's about the thought process. Because 12th house deals with Pisces, and that can talk about sacrificial vibe. So like I was getting earlier, you might have to let go of a certain status or there's the environment in order to find a new network. And for those where the relationship example resonated, that would be a necessary sacrifice in some way. But it's sort of surrender the need for control, be in charge of your changes and transformation, because changes are inevitable. It's then your choice whether you want to resist it or go with it, right? And with Scorpio being a fixed sign, there is a natural or the default tendency to resist to change. Does not mean that's how they are all the time, but if they don't see the sense, or if they are not planning for the change, then they can be a little bit cynical about what is to come. And that's wiser. I mean, you need to think about it, but at the same time, there are many times that we don't know everything. So when something does not work out, we might not understand why or what, or if something better will come along in the future or not. But that's when we just need to keep on going, right? Because giving up and sitting back down is not going to help either. So going with the flow and seeing where a certain opportunity takes you is going to, first of all, bring you a lot of peace. That's going to help you find better balance in your life. And also it is going to take you to a place of personal power, because Pluto is all about that, claiming that personal power. You're becoming your own authority. You're taking charge of yourself. And at the very beginning, I was talking about the matriarch energy, and Pluto represents that. So it can be a strict feminine figure who's very straight shooter that is playing a very pivotal role at this time. Yes, let me just see if I'm missing something here. The sacrifice is coming out, letting go of a control, finding something new. But I feel a transcendence type of situation where you're not circulating in the same fears or the same surroundings, the same. No, that's kind of dissolving. Change is inevitable. Okay, breaking free, I feel, because there's so much creativity and light that is coming through here. Also with the spring, it's the budding of new life here that it can even be a rebirth phase. Perhaps you're thinking already of letting go of certain things at this time, and then you can see the results of it a year from now. Oh, wow, that neatly ties up your reading, actually. That's how I began the reading. So that's interesting. That's what I have for you, Pile 4. Thank you so much for being here. I really hope the reading resonated and that it helps you out. Let me know your thoughts, and if you want a personal reading, you can reach me via Etsy. The link is in the description box in the comment below. I will see you some other time. Until then, take care. Bye.